Hi everybody, it's Keisha with Eros Photography here to do a editing video with you. Today I'm going to edit a maternity photo that I did for my friend Jackie, and I'm just going to show you how I do a little bit of face retouching, what kind of edits that I do. Let's get started. Okay, so first I open up my photos in Lightroom, and let's let Lightroom load in. I use Lightroom Classic. That's what I learned on. That's what I'm using. So now with your photos loaded in Lightroom, which I'm gonna go find it. So you come over here, add folder. My folder's already added. It's really simple. So I have them in Jackie Maternity. And I like to use these labels so that they're easy to find. So I've starred hers at 2 stars with red or blue. Typically, when I finish a photo, I'll put them as green, so all those photos are already finished. Now these are all the photos. I have them sectioned off because sometimes I get clients that order extra photos above what they already got, so until I get the payment for the other one, I'll section them off into a different color. Jackie's actually already paid me for all of these, so I'll just go ahead and switch those over to labeling them as red. Okay. So all those photos are done. I don't have to have that clipped anymore. And let's do a simple face shot. So which one do I want to do? I like this one. I think I'll do that one. So this is the photo I'm going to edit. I've already done the edits on it. First I did exposure correction and then I did color correction. I've created my own presets here for myself. So I created starter presets that allow me to adjust the lighting of it with one click of a button. Sometimes I just do it from scratch, but quite typically unfortunately the lighting correction I used for this was in a different Lightroom catalog that I couldn't find when I fixed my computer, so I've yet to fix and make one that starts with this lighting correction. And then I did manage to get this back. These all had names at one point, but when I reloaded them, I lost them. Wait, I've got to go through and find my lighting presets again. My exposure presets. Oh well. Everything's kind of a mess. There's a lot of fixing and a lot of starting. Yeah, I've got to go through and get all of my starter presets back from these photos, which you can do. If you ever lose your Lightroom presets when you switch catalogs and you don't know where you put them, you can go back through the photos because sometimes they'll keep the Lightroom imprint, and then you can just go new preset and then just check all of the settings that it would have affected. So now I have the lighting for that one complete, and I can just use it on anything if I really wanted to. But I like this one. I'm gonna edit this one. So now I just come over here and say edit in Adobe Photoshop. So I bridge between the two because while Lightroom is extremely powerful for light and color correcting, you can have a lot more fun with the different tools that exist in Photoshop. So Photoshop is where you get your best skin correction, best fine tuning. You can start masking things out. This one's just a simple edit, so we're not going to worry too hard about a whole lot. When you have a beautiful subject, it doesn't really matter how you do it. So here we go. So I start with my patch tool. And my patch tool, it's better than the healing brush and the spot brush for skin retouching because, well, the healing brush can be used for some things. I think the patch tool just has a better look to it. So I'll start with there, because you want to get all your rough editing done before you get your creative editing done, because otherwise You're gonna screw with things, and if you do the rough editing before you do the fun editing, then you screw things up. Now the trick with skin retouching is you don't want to overdo it. You want to get rid of anything that would be distracting or a blemish so that it looks nice, but you don't want to get rid of their pores entirely, at least not in my style of photography. If you go do editorial work, quite typically they want flawless skin, which is honestly really stupid. For example, there's some hairs in here that I'll clean up and some wrinkles that I won't get rid of all of the wrinkles because part of those are just the way that her face looks. That would look a little odd without it. But I don't like to get rid of too many details. I just like to clean it up a little bit so that it looks clean. Most people don't see the side of it. I get nervous because there's a lot of people that see you edit skin and then they're like, oh my god, it's not real, it's not like it's supposed to look, this isn't her natural face. Yeah, it is her natural face. My rule of thumb is remove the things that wouldn't be there normally and remove the things that distract from the subject. So, for example, I could do a photo of a landscape and it's really beautiful, but there's this really ugly garbage can. Now, that's not pretty. I'm not gonna make you watch that. Yeah, so you remove dirt, you remove blemishes, because those aren't permanent parts of the face. Because it's in the photo doesn't mean it needs to be there. I definitely suggest that if you're going to do photo editing that you take the time to spend the money to get a drawing tablet. I've done the attempts with a mouse and the attempts with a touchpad, and it is not good. It is not fun. It is hard. It is very, very hard. And I got away with it for a while, but it's worth the money to get a drawing tablet. That works. I like that. Okay, now we're gonna, I know this is out of focus, but it might be worth noting that while some of these are freckles, it looks a little, I don't know if they're just freckles, so anything that I'm not sure about I tend to remove just in case. Depends, it's at the discretion, or at least I like to clean up a little bit of it so that because Jackie's not a ginger, so she doesn't have She has pretty clean skin for the most part, so making sure she... Even if some of these are actually freckles, for some reason, if there's too many of them, and you're not a ginger, it looks really cluttered, and most people won't understand why it looks cluttered. So a lot of people don't know why a photo doesn't sit well with them if the edit's bad. They like the photo enough, but they don't know why they don't like it more. So a lot of photo editing is just playing with the unconscious things that people pick up and consciously adjusting it so that their eyes and perception of an image don't get altered by the little details they're seeing but not understanding why it doesn't look good to them. So you'll see in the before and the after just how much of a difference these little adjustments make in your perception of an image. And once you start photo editing, it'll be second nature to pick up on the things that you see and don't like. That looks cleaner. So see how just adjusting a little bit of the clutter makes it feel a lot cleaner. And then even in the face, I do see a couple spots that zoomed out look not great. So I'm going to adjust this because the skin tone kind of falls here into a darkness that is very noticeable when zoomed out. So I'm going to do some retouching here. Okay, so one of the things that frustrates me with some fabric is that it wrinkles like this, and there's not a whole lot you can do without spending hours and hours and hours editing it. So I kind of just live with it because I don't have hours and hours and hours to spend editing that. Not when I have multiple clients on the go at once. One thing that I like to do as well is clean up the hair. So I'll use the clone stamp tool for that, mixed with the patch tool if I need to. Okay, beautiful. Now I get to work on the fun part, which is all of the extra editing. So I'll come over here and I'll do a curves layer. And first I start by adjusting the eyes. So how I did that is I came down here, pressed on curves, and then adjusted this, pressed Control I so that you invert the layer mask. And then now I've moved to brush. So when you're in layer masks and you use the brush tool, white means that you're making it visible, and black means that you're making it invisible. Alternatively, you can, if you want to do a whole thing, you can just press Control Backspace or Alt Backspace to get whatever color you want, if you want to fully change it. You can press this button or X to get what you need. This one, okay, hardness, great, neat. So I like to use a soft brush for this part, and I'm just going to work on her eyes first. Just brighten those up, make them more of a point of interest for the viewer. There we go, and then I'm going to bring in brightness and contrast. Do a little bit of dodge and burn on her face, but I like to use these masks to do it because then I don't do destructive editing. And while I do like the dodge and burn tools, I don't necessarily like how finite they are. You have to really love where you've put your brush. As far as I'm aware, I don't use them much. See how flat it looks when you take away all of the edits, and how much more dynamic her face looks now. I'm going to bring down the exposure just a tad because I feel like it was just a little too bright before. It's a little too much. Let's bring it back up to maybe 6. Yeah, there we go. Now, okay, so now one of the things that I really like, and I know it's really cliche, but I like to add a little bit of a vignette around it. And what I do is I take exposure, I drop it really, really low, and then I just add it around here, around the edges. And I usually do it this way because then I can control the way that it forms around the subject, because I find that I find myself a little annoyed with things. One second, let me see. I like it in this. Yeah, my preference is that. Yeah. And then I can cut out all the things I didn't like about the shirt. Well, this is actually the dress. This is a very beautiful dress. I'll lighten that a little bit. Now, you may be noticing lines in here, but you can pretty much get rid of those by pressing Ctrl-Alt-E and combining all of that together. So now it all looks seamless. I know I was pretty frustrated about that when it happened. Now, I like to look at the before and the after. And yeah, that's the before and after for this photo. You can It's a pretty clean edit. She's a wire weaver. She does that. She's very, very talented. She taught me how to wire weave. I'm not as good, by far. We have matching friendship necklaces for the one that she's wearing. Yeah, before and after. Anyways, if you like this video, please leave a like. Comment down below what you would like me to edit for you next, what kind of videos you would like to see in the future, and share with your friends. Any little bit counts. And remember that love is the lens through which creation begins. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I keep doing that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.